teacher that really influenced me was Mr. Schmittou. He was my 7th grade English teacher, and up until that point, I didn't really have a lot of guy teachers, and so he just had an initial cool to him, where it's just all my teachers have been really nice and sweet up till that point, but there was something that just was different about him. He was really engaging right off the bat, funny, just everyone wanted to be in his class, but once they were in it, they didn't actually want to. He was one of the more challenging teachers I've ever had, especially as a 7th grader. He was one of those teachers who pushed you, he had high standards, and he expected all of us to meet it. And so one of the things that he did, we had a grammar test that we had to take, and we had a time limit, and you had to get a perfect score on it to pass. And if you didn't get a perfect score, you got a 0. And we got to try and take it every single week. And it was just one of the things he expected everyone to know, the certain rules that he had, and those were the rules that all of our papers were graded by, all of our writing was assessed by, and so you learned them, and you were rewarded for working hard, and everyone had the same standards. And so that was just a really cool thing that he did. I think one of my favorite things that he did, he read Of Mice and Men to us using voices, and it was incredible. Honestly, everyone was excited for the days that he read. He always spaced it out, and just that little thing, despite the fact that you're old and you're a big old middle schooler, that was just something that was still really, really, really cool to see. The way that he really influenced me is the way that he acted outside of the role of a teacher. And so, yes, he had material to get through, but he really was just a stand-up person, someone that you could look up to. And as a 12-year-old, he didn't really have a lot of people to look up till that point, besides family. And he was just a really cool person who stuck to what he believed in. He was open about his faith, and he just stuck to his guns to some extent. He ended up being my track coach in 7th and 8th grade too, which was cool. He ended up being a sponsor for a Christian club that I started in 8th grade, and he just really encouraged me to do the right thing. I think one of my favorite moments that really exemplified that, we got a test back, me and a friend were comparing, and my friend noticed that I did something wrong, and Mr. Schmittou didn't catch it. And I was just like, sucks! We didn't catch it, we're good to go. And my friend's like, that's not fair, that's not... And so I begrudgingly went up, the walk of doom, up to his desk to show him my failure. And I was like, so I missed this and you should take off points. And he said, you were honest, keep the points. And just the fact that honesty was even rewarded then in the real world, and that you don't have to lie to get ahead, and that doing the right thing is more important than getting the right answer, was just a huge thing that I learned from him, and that really just, ran over into the way that I live my life to some extent. When I graduated in 8th grade, he signed my yearbook, and I'll never forget the thing he wrote down, because honestly it's the highest compliment I think you could ever get from someone. The previous year, his wife was pregnant and they had a son. And in my 8th grade yearbook, he wrote, I hope my son grows up to be like you. And that's just something crazy. That's such a big thing to live up to, and for him to see in me and just to call me out on the potential that he saw has just really been a cool push into where I am and where I think I'm going. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing with my life right now. I know that I love to read, I love to write, I love to talk, and I care about people. And so wherever that takes me, whether that's as a lawyer or a teacher, as a professor, as whatever I end up as, I know that love for reading and writing and just using English and our words to impact other people, that stemmed from Mr. Schmittou.